Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we'll be taking a look at a really fun spice pick in the Kanto Cup, ALOLAN DUGTRIO. ALOLAN DUGTRIO is a ground and steel type Pokemon with Mud Slap, Mud Bomb, and Iron Head. I've had it built for quite a while, but never really tried it out prior till now. And while I'm still not sold on ALOLAN DUGTRIO as a viable Kanto Cup contender, the team as a whole honestly really outperformed expectations. I went 12-8 with the team and climbed up to 31-48 ELO. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and let's take a look at some highlights of ALOLAN DUGTRIO in action. Hopping into the first match, picking up the dream lead in Nidoqueen. These Mud Slaps are absolutely tearing through Nidoqueen, and the fact that they're staying in means they could possibly be weak in the back. We're able to get the shield as we get to a Mud Bomb before they reach Earth Power. We'll shield up, they go for the bait, but going for the bait means they're not actually going to be able to reach the Earth Power, so I can safely let this go. This is just a Poison Fang, but they try and snipe with Shadow Machamp after they've lowered the defense, but fortunately I have two hard punishes in the back to a fighting type. We come in with Pidgeot, a little bit of lag there, we'll shield at the Rock Slide, and we're able to farm down. Now they have a very low health Nidoqueen in back, and we'll have to see what else they have. And they have a Magneton, so them staying in now makes sense. They are incredibly weak to a Mud Slap user. Brave Bird, despite being double resisted, still does just about half health, and we're not able to throw the Feather Dance before they reach a move. They throw the Discharge, we'll come back in with the DUGTRIO. They transfer the Mud Slap onto the Nidoqueen, but unfortunately they are unable to escape the wrath of ALOLAN DUGTRIO, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, and this is definitely a pretty rough lead into Shadow Hypno. I try and catch a Fire Punch, but unfortunately I'm not able to catch, and I get punished by a Shadow Lapras switch-in. I can survive a Surf barely here, and then I will be able to fire off a Brave Bird, which should be able to guarantee a shield from the Lapras. Brave Bird comes through, we're able to get the shield, that's very nice. Now since we switched out with some loaded energy, we should be able to outpace, and we get to the Iron Head, and unless they're willing to commit the second shield, this will be taking out the Lapras. Lapras does go down, but Hypno comes back in with a move. Most punches will kill me here, especially if it's a Fire Punch. ALOLAN DUGTRIO is very, very glassy. They try and catch, and it's a Nidoqueen in back, and suddenly we have life. This is why we run Ice Punch. For extra coverage against Nidoqueen, they're only able to get to a Poison Fang, and I'm more worried about a potential Shadow Ball, so I'll actually let the Poison Fang go. We're going to trust in Hypno. My opponent comes back in and throws a move, and that allows me to sneak a Confusion through, and we're able to sneak another Confusion through. So at this point, I should just go for the farm down, but I make a misplay, and I actually go for the back-to-back Thunder Punches, which allows my opponent to get a free Confusion through. So definitely a bit of a misplay there by me. I should have just committed to the farm down, but we're still able to get the win on the back of ALOLAN DUGTRIO. Alright, hopping into the next match and another amazing lead into Shadow Nidoqueen. They save switch into Hitmonchan, and the nice thing is we have two hard punishes to fighters. Unfortunately, with Pidgeot, I will have to shield because an Ice Punch or a Thunder Punch would do quite a bit of damage, but I will be able to get that shield back if they bring back in the Shadow Nidoqueen, as Brave Bird will hurt quite a lot. We are going to be going for the Brave Bird, hoping for the no shield, but unfortunately they shield and they're able to farm down. This is less than ideal, but we still do have a shield to protect ourselves from an Earth Power, so we're still not in a bad spot. We are down a shield, and the opponent has a Snorlax in the back. I'm building up, trying to go for the Iron Head, but the opponent throws before I get there. They need the superpower to take me out, and it's the superpower. Honestly, this is not bad. This has lowered their attack and defense, and now my win con is I need to Confusion down. Their defense is lowered, my Confusions are doing extra damage. We have to farm down, but they get to a move. Their attack is lowered as well. Are we able to survive it? We are barely, and the Confusion kills them. We live on very low HP, and we have the back-to-back Ice Punches. The question is this Ice Punch enough to KO the Shadow Nidoqueen? Going for the second Ice Punch, it is, and we are able to clutch out the win. Oh my goodness. All right, Hopping into the next match, we're 3-0 so far. Incredible lead into Nidoqueen, and they save swap into Lickitung, and we have a pretty good response in Pidgeot. Pidgeot has a pretty commanding matchup. Honestly, I haven't played out this matchup much, but I have heard, at least from simming it on PvPoke, that it's a pretty dominating matchup. We go for the Feather Dance, we're able to lower their attack by 2 stages, and from here, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to farm down. Body Slam comes through, we can comfortably take at least one more Body Slam. Very nice timing by my opponent, they're not allowing me to get an extra Gust. Body Slam, we do survive it, we're trying to Gust down, and they get to a move. Big misplay by me, as now I'm forced to burn a shield to preserve the energy, and then my opponent makes an incredible play. They snipe with the Nidoqueen. Absolutely fantastic play by my opponent, taking advantage of my misplay and recognizing that they could get rid of all that energy. Hypno is able to confusion down the Nidoqueen, but this is going to be a very tough fight. We'll have to see what they have in the back. They bring in Lickitung. Very smart decision. They're just hoping that I would be trigger happy and throw the move. And they have ALOLAN Raticate in the back, which is a nightmare. And this is unfortunately going to be a good game, as ALOLAN DUGTRIO is just not tanky enough to tank a move. My only win con is that we're able to tank a move here. Crunch comes through. That just does so much damage. And unfortunately, despite it being a very winnable game, we are unable to get the win. All right, pretty tough lead in Game 5, a Pidgeot lead. We are going to bring in our own Pidgeot, and I'm expecting them to Feather Dance here. So I am going to call it, but they Brave Bird. Oh, that is so bad. Brave Bird one-shots my Pidgeot, and I die with a Brave Bird loaded. I come in with my Shadow Hypno, but the opponent stays in. That tells me that they may be weak in the back, and they are. They bring in a Nidoqueen. So the opponent, recognizing Nidoqueen, has 0 play and basically just sacrificing it. We're able to shield up, and now we're going for the Ice Punch, but the opponent actually decides to protect the Nidoqueen despite the fact that it has absolutely no play. They double shield, we bring in Dugtrio, and in comes a Lapras. So at this point, they've wasted both shields on their least valuable Pokemon in Nidoqueen, which definitely might be able to give me a chance. Going for the Iron Head, this will hit for some heavy neutral damage, getting the Lapras very low, but unfortunately, I'm not able to kill it. And I have not left it with a lot of health, so I'm not going to be able to get a lot of farm on the Shadow Hypno. Hypno, trying to get to the move, and we're unable to get there. The confusion went through, so if we survive it, we can undertap. We live it, we undertap, we're able to reach the Ice Punch. And despite getting Brave Birded at the start, we are able to rally back, get the win, and clinch the 4-1 with ALOLAN Dugtrio. Hopping into the next match, we have ALOLAN Dugtrio into Dragonair. I'm going to get some chip damage, because I definitely don't want to take an Aqua Tail. And now we're going to bring in Pidgeot. Pidgeot for sure can tank 1 Aqua Tail, but I will want to start shielding if they get to the second, which they do right here. So I am going to commit the shield. Dragonair decides to switch out, and they bring in Nidoqueen, and I am full sending it. I am going for the Brave Bird. Brave Bird lands, that does big damage. Unfortunately, I get farmed down, but by my count, they are short of an Earth Power. So I'm going to bring in the Dugtrio, they throw the move, and I'm going to trust in the counts. And it's just a Poison Fang. Absolutely huge that we didn't expend that second shield. They have Machamp in the back, which is terrible for the Dugtrio, but we'll be able to force a shield with Mud Bomb. And now we bring in Hypno, and this is why we have 2 counters to fighting types. And they're going for it all here. I'm worried about a payback, so I shield up, and it's the payback. They bring in Dragonair. Dragonair gets confusion down, and the opponent resigns the match. So a very tough one there, but able to get the job done. Hopping into the next match, another Pidgeot lead. We save switch into our own Pidgeot, and they bring out Mew. And here I want to try and guarantee a shield. I'm not worried about them Shadow Clawing me down. We go for the Brave Bird, and we land it. That's huge. The opponent calls the bait, gets 1 shot, and now they'll bring back in their own Pidgeot. We have 1 switch advantage, which means we'll be able to align the Pidgeot onto our Shadow Hypno, which is where we want to see it. And the opponent shields the Feather Dance. That is huge. The opponent lost count. We bring in the Shadow Hypno. Feather Dance won't do a lot, and since they are Feather Danced, even a Brave Bird won't do a whole lot to us. They go for the Brave Bird, we can survive it, and they have Nidoqueen in the back, and Alolan Dugtrio is here to mud slap it all the way down. They go for the Earth Power, they are unable to land it, and the opponent resigns the match. So in a meta that is very Nidoqueen heavy, Alolan Dugtrio is having a great time. But this lead right here is very rough. Shadow Lapras, we are double weak to this thing. So unfortunately, I'm forced to stay in. I am going to be building up. We go for the Mud Bomb, and unfortunately, my opponent does get a fast move through, which will allow them to farm down. This is rough. I will bring in the Hypno. My only win con here is to hope that this is their only Pidgeot counter, and Pidgeot's able to sweep in the back. They get to another move. We just have to tank this. And now they aggressively switch in Nidoqueen. I try and get to the Ice Punch. I'm unable to. And at that point, with no ability to reset a Poison Fang debuff, I resign the match. Ooh, Shadow Hypno is a tough lead. We are going to save switch into Pidgeot. And we're able to get the Gust through as they throw. That is very, very nice. And we're going to shield up the Thunder Punch. The opponent switches out. They bring in Nidoqueen. And you know what? Again, full sending it on the Brave Bird, but it's shielded. Very unfortunate, but we're able to reach a Feather Dance. Not quite able to get to a second Brave Bird. This will at least lower their attack, and they lost count. They double shield the Nidoqueen. And again, having an opponent double shield the Pokemon that you have two really good counters for is usually a good sign. We shield up the Earth Power, and now we're going to be able to farm down. Now, they still do have that Hypno alive in the back. The Hypno is low on energy, though, so we should be able to get to this Iron Head, and Iron Head will hit hard. Dugtrio does have a pretty decent attack stat. That takes out the Hypno. They have a Alolan Muck in the back. We're trying to get to the Mud Bomb, but we just can't. That is tragic, and we have our Shadow Hypno in the back. But the good thing is, Shadow Hypno apparently can survive one Dark Pulse. They're forced to try and get to two. They're unable to do so. We reach the Ice Punch. We take them out. And that is a good game. All right, hopping into the next match. Alolan Dugtrio into Alolan Sandslash. This is a very scary lead. I cannot have this up against my Pidgeot, so I am going to be shielding this, and my goal is basically just to 2-shield farm down. The opponent tries to catch a Mud Bomb onto Pidgeot. I am going to be going for the Iron Head. This will do a nice chunk of damage, and now we'll bring in our Shadow Hypno. They have no reason not to Brave Bird. I am willing to preserve health. We're going down 2 shields, but we are preserving a lot of health. And they have a Alolan Marowak in the back, and it's the Hex version. I will build up to a potential Shadow Ball to force the shield. And now my opponent throws before I could threaten a second fake Shadow Ball. They go for the Shadow Bone, and that takes me out. And here, I don't wait out my Switch Clock, which is terrible. Our Switch Clocks are misaligned. A huge mistake, as I had thrown the Iron Head. I needed to wait the clock, and we take a ton of damage on Pidgeot. Absolutely huge misplay by me. I come in with the Alolan Dugtrio, going for the Mud Bomb, but unfortunately we let a Hex through. We are making a ton of misplays here in the end game. It all comes down to, do they have Fire Blast? If they do, we lose. Just a Bone Club. We are barely able to survive, despite some devastating mistakes in the end game. All right, hopping into the next match, we have an incredible lead. Alolan Dugtrio into Tentacruel, and they're staying in, so they don't have a good response. This should just be an Acid Spray, so I don't have to respect this. Acid Spray, that's fine. And they're able to switch on the offset CMP into Lapras. And seeing Lapras here is incredible. I'm going to be able to align it with the Shadow Hypno. And Shadow Hypno will definitely do well here. We can safely tank a Surf. I'm going to overfarm by 2 Confusions, and we're going for the Thunder Punch. And Thunder Punch will secure the KO if they decide not to shield, and they do decide to let it go down. And another Alolan Marowak in the back. So again, overfarming, doing our best to threaten a potential Shadow Ball, and we're able to get the shield. I'm a little worried I'm not going to be able to get to another one, so we're just going to go for the Thunder Punch. No baiting this time, and my opponent, very nice counting. They're able to read it's just a Thunder Punch. But again, we have Pidgeot. Pidgeot absolutely walls this thing. They bring in Tentacruel, we bring in Alolan Dugtrio, and the opponent resigns the match. So again, another opponent who was double weak to Mudslap. Hopping into the next match, another Alolan Sandslash. We've seen how this plays out. We desperately need to get rid of this so our Pidgeot is free in the back. The opponent is just farming up. So I'm going to go for the Mud Bomb to secure the shield. And then I'm just going to need to double shield. And double shielding the worst Pokemon on my team usually isn't the best idea ever. But in this particular situation, I need the Alolan Sandslash dead. They're able to get both shields and they do go down. And they bring in Lapras, and I believe I should be able to get to the Iron Head, and Iron Head will be doing a lot of damage onto this Lapras. Iron Head comes through, that does big damage. Lapras able to farm down, but as you can see, Alolan Dugtrio almost took out the Lapras. This could be the Skull Bash, and it is, which does a nice chunk of damage. And they have their own Hypno in the back, and here I should have switched instantly. But instead, I stay in, and I'm threatening the Shadow Ball. We're able to force the shield, but what I should have done was instantly switched into the Pidgeot, and as soon as possible, gotten to the Brave Bird. But a pretty big mistake there. Now my Hypno goes down, and I have no way to reset a potential debuff. Thunder Punch will hit very hard, and here I absolutely need this Feather Dance to KO. Come on, Feather Dance! And he barely lives. We're so low. Lapras still alive in the back, and unfortunately, we just can't get the win. So very close match, but again, just misplays by me cost the opportunity to win the match. And another Nidoqueen lead. What you love to see. They bring in Lapras, and we are going to bring in our Shadow Hypno. And again, Shadow Hypno has a very, very nice matchup here. We are going to be going for that Thunder Punch, able to get the shield, which is nice. The Lapras is farming up a lot. They are threatening a bigger move, so I will shield it up. Just the Surf. Unfortunate there, but I will be able to get off this second Thunder Punch, which is going to be getting that second shield since they are starting to get very low. And here, again, I'm in a range where an Ice Beam would take me out. But we call it successfully. That's huge. Reading that the opponent was probably just going to Surf. They're able to get to the second Surf and force the last shield, but we will be able to maintain switch advantage, which is very, very nice. And now, the opposing Nidoqueen comes back in and farms down. Now, this is a scary spot. They're at 5 poison jabs, so I'll count to 8, and we're able to catch onto the Pidgeot. This will be the Earth Power, and it's going to be double resisted on the Pidgeot. They have Shadow Shiny Hypno in the back, but we got a Gust through as we caught. We are going to be able to go for the Brave Bird. Brave Bird takes out the Hypno. Back in comes the Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen farming down, but they're not able to reach another Earth Power. Alolan Dugtrio has the move. We are going to be able to take out the Nidoqueen, and that is a good game. So all in all, I had an absolute blast running Alolan Dugtrio. I don't believe it's a particularly strong Pokemon. However, I believe the success I had with the team is more just due to the fact that ground is a very strong typing in the current meta, and you will find a lot of teams that are double weak to it in the back or ABA weak to it, and it can cause them a lot of troubles. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.